Legacy alive, guys. How are we going?
Great. Awesome. Great to see you.
So good to have you guys. We actually managed to pull this off with a little bit of sort of technical issues from both our ends this time. But here we are. It's wicked. It's good to have you guys.
Yeah, super pleased to be here.
We are live.
That's right.
And you just finished a rehearsal from what I could understand.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. Sick. How did that go?
Pretty good. We've got a set that we're playing this Saturday at Lucy's, and we've got a couple of new songs in there. So we just smashed out that set before we jumped onto the call with you, and sounding pretty good.
Sounding great.
Yeah.
Wicked, man. Yeah, and we just started out listening to "Let It Go." That's a pretty rad song, man.
Yeah, it's good fun. Thanks very much.
What's the story? Sorry, I was about to say, what's the story behind that one? Because sort of from what I could see, it's like your hit song, like it was on Triple J. It's featured on your Triple J page and all that.
Yeah, we've been writing a whole lot of new music over the last few years, and I think that was just the first one that came very naturally. And when we went in,
spontaneous, wasn't it?
It was very spontaneous. Yeah,
came out of nowhere, and
yeah, wow.
It was just like the strongest out of the few that we had recorded that we were really happy with, and we just thought that's a single. And yeah, it's come very well.
It's good fun to play. It's just rocking, you know.
Yeah, wicked, and I could tell sort of from your bio here where it says that just if we sort of take it back to sort of where you guys started, it said that you guys started in 2006, but you were sort of reborn in 2019. It would be interesting to maybe sort of find out what actually happened, because that's 13 years.
It's a long time.
Yeah. What happened there?
Oh, how old were you in 2006?
When Legacy Alive, formerly known as Legacy of Supremacy, was formed, I was only about 5 years old.
Yeah.
That's a good effort.
We started when we were in high school.
Yeah, in high school.
Gee, we just two long-haired dudes at the same job, and we went, you must play guitar, and then started jamming and went from there, and it's been through various iterations over the years, different other band members and that sort of thing, and just sort of kept turning over, and then here we are again, sort of still doing it, still enjoying it. So
cool. Yeah. So you guys are the original lineup?
So the original lineup's just the two of us.
Okay. Yep.
And so pretty much every time we came to a lineup change, the band kind of was a little bit reborn. But it's just one of those things. We started so young, and we were really motivated at the time. And everybody you went to high school with who plays drums was really keen. They get to that age and they either go off the boil or they do something else. But the two of us have been so steadfast in what we want to do musically. We just get the next person who's really keen to jump in and play. And I mean, the biggest injection, pardon the pun, was Frank. Really, because when I was in a side project for a while, Frank was the drummer, and he was so unbelievably cool, and we needed a drummer at the time, and I was just like, play with us.
Nice. So what made you accept that?
So I'm a little bit older than these guys, so the music we play is what I grew up on. So nice. It was a no-brainer for me. I'm all about just that 80s glam thing. It's my sound.
Yeah, fantastic, man.
And your style too, with the stick figures.
Completely unnecessary, but totally worth it.
Yeah.
Are you doing all the stick tricks or what?
I try.
He does. It's very modest.
Man, you got to teach me, man. I've always tried. I always drop the sticks, man.
Too, so I just stare angrily at the bass player like he made the mistake.
No, that's wicked, man. Cheers. So okay, so we come up to so between 2006 and 2019, was that just mainly just random lineup changes and bits going up and down? You also mentioned a couple of side projects.
I think really what we had was like from the early days, we had a solid lineup and we had an idea of the songs we were going to write, and we were really inspired by I guess the medley thing that was going on at the time, a lot of Trivium, Avenged Sevenfold, the Dragon Force was all the rage then, and all these really cool 2-guitar screaming things. But the both of us have got favorites, I guess, that set more in that classic 80s style rock, whether it be the thrash metal or the glam stuff. And I'm a massive fan of melodic stuff that is not, things like Journey, those kinds of bands, great songs like that. Doesn't matter whether you say that you don't like heavy music, but you love Living on a Prayer and you love Don't Stop Believing. Just, there's no way anybody doesn't like those songs. And we wrote a whole bunch of songs, and the most catchy ones were the things that people remembered, and we thought, really, maybe that's the direction that we pushed the band. Yeah. We had a singer for a while named Alex Giles, so I never sang in the very early days, and he was a great guy, but he moved on to other work and moved internationally and had to pick up the racket, and then we started the next phase.
Yeah.
And we just kept on going. Before we knew it, it was 2017, and we put out we did an EP, which was a bit more, I guess, glam sounding, which was Firefight, and a 3-song EP. And then we did Lucid. We did Lucid as a single, which we toured off the back of, with some really great guys. Trevor and Dan were a drummer and bass player. And after that, after they moved on, and some of them had children and went international as well, was just building more guys. And but before we knew it was 2017, we'd put out Morning After. And the one question I was always getting was, what does it mean when you say legacy of supremacy? Because when I Google that, I don't get a lot of good stuff.
It wasn't great.
Right. But in 2006, people were like, that's the sickest name I've ever heard. I love that.
Yeah.
And now it's like,
it's like,
kids don't like you to say supremacy very much.
18-year-old to a 28-year-old, it means very different things, I suppose.
Yeah. Fair point.
We did a show that we were live. We filmed it and recorded it with the hope of doing a live album, I guess, which it didn't come off because we couldn't get it all together and the capture didn't work that well.
Technical difficulties yet again.
A lot of technical difficulties yet again. But we wanted to do it like Kiss Alive, so we just called it Legacy Alive, and everybody just thought that was the name of the band. And I can't get people to remember Legacy of Supremacy, but they could bloody remember Legacy Alive. So
oh, wow.
We thought, maybe we should rebrand them.
I think it's stuck better too, hasn't it?
It has.
It sounds better than the Jacob Kenny Experience.
Yeah, and everybody wants to punch that guy in the face.
I mean, you could always argue that, if it is sort of like a rebrand, a version of the band, then it could be the fact that, the legacy is still alive.
Exactly.
It's
thing. Yeah, Legacy of Supremacy was the awesome stuff that we're carrying over from the heyday, and Legacy Alive just means we're still keeping it alive. So.
And also abbreviated to LA as well, is obviously a big influence in there too. So
LA rock.
It's a few different meanings.
Yeah, cool. And it's again something that people can sort of chant at the end of a set. You can chant LA. Get you guys back on. But so you mentioned, so in 2017, so that was when you released the album.
Yeah.
Morning After, yeah. How did that one? How was that received?
Well, that's a tough one. I don't really know.
Ultimately, it was received really well. We've got a bad habit of writing a whole bunch of tunes, playing them live for a really long time, and then finally releasing a recording of them. So people are like, oh, these are those songs that you've been playing since 2013. And
right.
Okay. Now you can own them. It was actually our second album because we recorded a first album called Midnight Till Dawn in 2011, which is not available on streaming, but there are hard copies if people are really keen. And it was
collector's item.
Yeah. And the next iteration of that was from Midnight Till Dawn. It was the Morning After. And I guess the inspiration of Midnight Till Dawn was all the crazy stuff that we used to do between the hours of midnight until dawn. And the Morning After was the hangover.
Yep.
A lot of songs about getting up and doing it again, I guess.
It was literally a song about being hungover.
Yeah.
So,
but it got reviewed by 100% Rock, and it was kind of considered to be like an AOR style album, which was kind of nice. I found that quite flattering to be lumped in with those kinds of bands, and I thought, oh, good, somebody got it. Yeah.
It was a bit of radio play.
Yeah, it was a bit of radio play.
Yeah, wicked.
Yeah, the guys on was it Rock Aria or Heritage FM? They submitted a fair bit.
Yeah,
so,
every other week.
Yeah, so it's pretty cool.
Nice.
There's someone out there digging it and trying to get it out to as many people as they can. So yeah, we're happy with that.
Absolutely, man. And how was the recording process? Because that's again something I find sort of quite fascinating to hear how guys approach the whole sort of creation of an album. Is that something you did in a studio, or are you guys are you managing some of the tracking yourself?
All of it.
All of it, yeah.
Oh,
So,
nice. Love it.
drums we tracked at the studio, the Vision Studios. One day we did 4 songs, 5 songs?
6.
Oh,
Six?
for
We did 6
the,
songs.
for the upcoming one, yeah.
Yeah, the upcoming one.
Yeah.
So we tracked all of that, drums there, and we do guitars and vocals at various houses and that sort of thing. But yeah, all done all ourselves, and this guy here mixes it all and makes it sound great. So,
Oh, wow.
We were really lucky because when we did Midnight Till Dawn, we got a young guy who was just starting out, and he recorded for us and did a good rate. And we were young, but we knew what sound we wanted in our minds, but we didn't get it. But we got a good sounding, recording, and we were happy with it. But I always went, geez, if I had a chance to get in and do that, we'd have it sound a different way. And we made enough money off that release to be able to buy ourselves a small recording setup.
Oh, nice.
Then we did Firefight, and we made enough money off that release to pay for itself and flesh out a bit more in the recording. And again, with Morning After, we made plenty, and with just a little bit of chipping in here and there and what the band makes, we've been able to grow our recording capability, and bands are coming to us asking us to record them. So they're like, oh,
Nice.
the sound of that. So yeah, oh, cool, great. So,
Fantastic. So, like, how did you go about sort of acquiring that knowledge and expertise to sort of be good enough to track and also actually get other people interested?
it's just hands-on, wasn't it? It was just
Yeah.
do it just by doing it
Yeah.
several times over, and you learn each time how to do it just that bit better and
yeah,
get the better results. And yeah, I think it was just that, just
Yeah.
practice.
Plus, YouTube is your friend. If you've
Exactly.
got someone on YouTube's got the answer. So, I mean, the upcoming release, when we track drums, I think we had something like 17 mics just for drums alone.
3 on the kick on its own.
Yeah, we had 4 room mics. It's a massive sounding drum. Like, the drums sound massive on this thing. So, it was just a case of, just gathering as much knowledge as we could and applying it as best we could, and it's turned out really well.
Frank's got grading, so he's the best critic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
So you're saying the 17 drum marks, is this for the upcoming album, for the next one?
Yeah.
Yeah, fantastic. Oh, so you're making an EP this time?
Yeah, we were going to
Fantastic.
do an album, but bands seem to be much more prolific in publishing music, and we're so slow that now we're all ready and we thought, we'll jump in the studio and record something, but we haven't quite got a full album. We've got some ideas that aren't complete, but wanted to split it in half and do 2 half releases that are part 1 and part 2 of an album that you can drip feed. So I guess it's an EP, but it's part 1 of the album.
Yeah. Extended now.
Yeah, cool. Because that's again another really sort of fun conversation to have, to sort of see what sort of people's opinion are in regards to releasing singles, EPs, or a full album. What's your thoughts on that?
It's definitely changing a lot. Less and less. I think it's an attention span thing or something, that people like listening to just one song off an album that they like or whatever. So you see a lot more of just singles being released as opposed to albums. So I guess it's leaning a little to that direction, just releasing a few less songs this time. And, it's just a trend in the industry, I think.
Yeah. Well, again, you can probably spin it around and say, if it was yourself, say you went out and you found a band you haven't heard before, and you hear this one single either on the radio or you find a video on YouTube or something, and you go back and you look it up on your phone and you go like, oh man, there's only 2 or 3 singles. Like every time that happens to me, I'm go like, man, oh damn, and every time you find someone who's got an album, you go like, sweet, I've got enough, because basically, like for me, I listen to a lot of my new music when I'm driving, and so that means if I can only put on one single, usually you're driving for like half an hour or something, or if you put it on in the gym, you're hopefully there for more than one single. So for me, it's so cool to find someone who's got more content or more songs to listen to. So it was really cool to find out that you guys had a whole album. So you guys, it's fun. I'm happy you guys are making an EP because you got the album now.
I think it's good to be able to, like, if you were going to make people wait 3 or 4 years for an album, or give them a 6-song EP every 9 months. At least then, if they get sick of it in 9 months, they know something else is coming.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So when is this new baby due?
Well, yeah, we were hoping to release it in October, early October. There's a big show that's in its second year in Perth called Perth Rocks, and we were going to release it then, but that's been delayed due to our delayed phase restrictions.
Yep.
So we kind of delayed it a little, but we're very close to being. We've been listening to the masters in here just before we started jamming, and they're all very close.
Pretty close to being done. So
yeah,
not a lot of tweaking to do from here. So
hopefully October sometime. It'll probably be mid to late October. We're shooting a video next Wednesday to go with the second single, so Let It Go is the first. The second one, so Frank's our drummer and lighting man. So he's got an amazing light show set up just for this capture. It's going to be very cool.
Well, another new thing for us as well.
Amazing light show on a modest budget.
Cool. Well, I mean, look, I think in general, I think production value is highly underrated from a lot of bands. Like you just go with whatever is on the venue. Which again, I suppose is fine, especially if you are doing all these sort of shared builds where you're playing, with 3 or 4 other bands on the same night. But I had Hybrid Theories on about a week ago. I don't know if you know them, like a Linkin Park tribute band.
Oh, yeah.
They've got like next level. I think they spent like 30 grand on full automated lighting stuff and LED screens and stuff. So that's obviously that is next level, and again a huge upfront investment and stuff. But production value in general is something that I know every time I go to a show and you see someone who's got all that extra lights, it just gives you like it sort of completes the whole experience.
Everyone appreciates the eBay special laser.
Yeah, but that's again another really, really good point. Like again, you can pick up some really, really good cheap gear online that can still make a difference.
Yeah, for sure. I've got access to a few things, and depending on the show, we'll bring them out. But yeah, it's a good.
It sets you apart from other bands as well. On the same bill, a little bit. So it's just something else to try and grab attention.
Yeah, you got to try and stand out. Especially the live music scene or the live original music scene for sure. So any little extra thing you can do to wow the people is always good.
That's why we employed the bass player basically. he's our wow man.
Yeah.
Nice, man.
General life guy.
So what's so wow about Bassman? Tell me.
Well, I think it's disregard to my first gig with these guys when it was my first proper gig out in the Northbridge scene away from my high school stuff when I graduated. Ever since then, there's been a few shenanigans I've done on stage just to not only do I do it to enjoy the music, but because you're in the moment. I think the biggest highlight that we all can remember is Perth Rocks Festival last year. It was our last song, and all of a sudden the stage dived into a crowd on someone's shoulder, who was taking me through a crowd of about 300 people while still playing the song.
Nice, man.
Like that, just the energy on stage. But that's just something I do naturally in my own performance. It's not something I go, hey, I'm just going to go do this.
It's not scripted.
No, it's not scripted. It just doesn't anything. What is happening? Yeah. But as long as I can still play, and
he doesn't miss a beat.
Doesn't miss a don't. As long as I don't miss a beat,
they're back on stage for the backing vocals.
Yeah. That's hilarious.
Nice, man. That's amazing, man. I hope you got a good public liability insurance, man.
We need that for later, don't we?
Oh my god, the red tape for that thing. It wouldn't even blind a ferret. I mean, really. But anyway.
That's awesome, man. Coming back to the EP, actually, are you planning on sort of dropping the all tracks at once, or were you planning on, as you mentioned earlier, sort of planning on maybe drip feeding them and waiting for the next EP?
I think we're going to drip feed at least one more single.
Yeah.
So it goes off that EP, and the next one we're going to drop. Well, I think it'd be nice to get it out mid to late September. Which is called Great Unknown, and we're going to do the video with that, so that'll probably be like single number 2, and then we'll see how long we want to string it out. Do we want to do single number 3? What do you want to do?
I think there's a pretty strong candidate for single number 3.
There is.
Yeah, there is.
There's a response as
which
well.
it's a little bit of a for us.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Yeah.
I think play it by ear and see, gauge the response and go from there. So.
Yeah, cool, man. So what about so when you guys aren't playing music, because at the moment obviously we've had a couple of months of not any music at all. Now everything is sort of almost back to normal with only a few restrictions and stuff. But what are you guys doing when you aren't playing live?
We still jammed almost every week anyway.
Yeah.
When we're allowed to over here.
I think we were lucky in Perth. I think with all the restrictions that sort of came in at the beginning of the whole COVID thing, I think we only really missed out on maybe a month and a half of rehearsal time. So, I mean, we were lucky in that sense. And like we'd also had the drum tracking done by then. And because a lot of the guitars were recorded in our studio,
Plenty to do.
Yeah, plenty to do. We're able to like just crack on with the EP, so we were lucky in that sense.
We've always been guilty of like rushing to get, we've set a deadline and a launch date and a gig when we release something, and we're always like last minute trying to finish it off. And it was kind of nice this time in that it got pushed back a little bit, and it gave us a bit more time to sort of perfect it.
Right.
Which is nice for a change. We're not pulling our hair out at 2 o'clock in the morning before we have to go, print some CDs or something the next day. So
they're good memories, but I'm glad I didn't do it again this time. Doing a mix, running up to the car, listening to it, going back downstairs, doing a mix, running back up to the car.
Oh, the good old car test.
That's right. Good in the car, everywhere.
Yeah, it's a funny one because if it doesn't sound good in the car, it's not good enough. Right. And
set of speakers everyone listens to the most, so you just know them the best. So.
Absolutely, yeah. Either that or a really cheap set of headphones, because when people listen to it in the gym or they go running and stuff.
Yeah, this has definitely been getting the cheap earbud test. So it sounds really good. So
well, usually again, like if it sounds good on bad headphones, it usually sounds good on good ones as well. But it's just it's just the whole trial and error, sort of trying going back and forth and stuff.
Yeah.
So my question before was also actually minded a little bit about what you're doing when you aren't playing music. So obviously you're 4 individuals, and sort of from what I could understand, me and Jacob have sort of been chatting a little bit in the background here, but it sounded like you guys have got some different backgrounds outside music as well. What are you guys doing when you aren't jamming?
Do you want to start?
Yeah, sure. Well, I'm a dad when I'm not jamming. I have 6 children.
Wow.
Yep. No, it's good. No,
You
it's
can make
good.
that 7 if you include me.
Yeah.
Yeah, old enough to be a dad, which is frightening. But anyway, 6 children. We're married to my lovely wife Emma, and yeah, just if at home, at work, being dad, and then Wednesday nights come here and be an absolute lunatic. It's good.
6 kids, man. That's a massive effort, man. Good
Um,
work. I got 3, and I think that's hard enough.
You're an amazing human being.
It's it has its moments. One of our sons he is on the autism spectrum and has a couple of other intellectual disabilities that he has to deal with, and at times it's the hardest thing in the world, and then at other times it's the greatest gift you've been given. So you sort of get the full range of everything with that. And his brothers and sisters, they understand. Even our 4-year-old, she's got an idea of what's going on. She doesn't know what it's called, but she knows that he's a little different. But that he still loves her, and he loves all his brothers and sisters. So
How old is he?
So he's just turned 9 recently.
Okay.
So yeah, and coaching Auskick, that's a new thing. So
Nice.
I am very busy.
Fantastic. No, it's a great gift. I got a special needs son myself, so I know what you're talking about. But it is beautiful, and again, it really matures the other kids as well. Sort of teaching them about empathy and stuff. But what's the age gap between the youngest and the oldest?
So the oldest is 14, and then the youngest is 4. So we've got 14, 13, I think 11, almost 11, 9, 6, and 4.
Wow. Hats off, man. That's
Or thereabouts.
must have been a busy decade from when you started till you finished.
Some cold nights.
I could imagine. Well done, man. Well done.
And Owen? Well, what I do outside of gigging is pretty much working to fund my gigging life. I work as a manager in a retail store, Coles. That's what affords all my music gear and my stupid music spending, because I've got a massive passion for music, as everyone knows here. Yeah. On top of that, I play a lot of golf. I'm a golfer myself, just to keep myself active, and something I enjoy, something that's relaxing. But yeah, most of the time it's just music, and more music for me. If I'm not jamming with these guys, and if I'm not at work, I'm just at home recording stuff on my Pro Tool software I've got on my computer, or listening to different music that I haven't ventured into yet. And yeah, so I spend a lot of my time basically, head first into what I love, and that's why I'm with these guys as well.
Wicked. Good stuff.
Yeah, I'm the same. I'm living the dream. I get to work at a music store. This is a day job, so yeah, living the dream. It's
Whereabouts?
Sound Centre. We're just a sort of fairly small store here in Perth, but awesome group of guys that I work with. It's like second family there. It's been awesome. Almost 10 years I've been there, and yeah, guitars and stuff every day. It doesn't really get any better than that. So
Nah, that's the dream, man. I actually about 10 years ago I used to work at the drum shop before it shut down. That was pretty cool. I was there for like 3 months and then went into receivership. So I was like, oh, okay, see you later.
I remember those days well. I spent insane amounts of money in that place.
Yeah, it was good joint.
Drum shop is very cool, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
What about you, Jacob?
So when I'm not in here and recording at home, I'm an associate lecturer at UWA in the medical faculty. So I did my PhD in pathology, human disease. And so I teach undergraduate science students, master's students, medical students about disease, bone diseases, cancers.
Holy shit.
Yeah, and it's a pretty rewarding job, and I get to do a bit of research in my spare time as well. So working on technologies to make surgery more efficient for people who are having hip and knee replacements, and to do less damage during the surgery, because it's flashy carpentry basically when you're in there with saws and drills having a good old go. So I like that a lot. Surgeons are cowboys, man. So getting in there and figuring out how we can do less damage when we're doing those surgeries is pretty much the guts of that. But it's good fun because you get to work with some radical people. Like, we've got a Nobel Prize winner in my building, and stand next to him in the bathroom every now and then. You're like, holy crap, you're Barry Marshall, So that's kind of cool. And some really amazing people who do, you don't realise. It's kind of like walking down the street in LA and sitting down at a bar and realising sitting next to Nicky Six while he's eating a burger. In my building, you get to sit down next to somebody who's like the most cited researcher in immunology in the country, if not the world. And you're like, oh, wow.
Fuck.
Normal person,
wow.
It's way cool.
Wow.
Yeah, that keeps me busy.
Yeah, shit. I mean, when you said you guys had a lot of different backgrounds, like, you weren't kidding. That's awesome, man.
Yeah, somehow we managed to all relate in this. In this band.
Oh, but that's like music is, it's like another language, like something that just again can connect you and across all different backgrounds and all that.
Sorry, I got something just popped up on the screen. I was getting rid of it.
Yeah, no worries. Actually, it sounds like the microphone is sort of buzzing a little bit. Don't know if it's standing on something that might be vibrating something. So it has like this sort of humming sound or something.
A band next door that's
obscenely loud.
That is no doubt that then. Because it was sort of a little bit hard to pinpoint, because it wasn't necessarily when you're having a conversation when someone was saying anything specific, but it's definitely the band then, especially if you're saying you can hear them and they're loud. No doubt that's that. Nothing we can do about that then.
That's all. Now it's definitely the band.
No, there's nothing. There's nothing at the moment. Just tell them to stay that way.
Play that one already.
You guys suck.
They're pretty cool.
Oh, really? Who's playing next door then?
I don't know, but it sounds good.
Yeah. We've got Jackson next door on that side at the moment, and not sure who these guys are, but they're loud.
Well, then ask them to play a bit louder so we can hear it. I've got another note here in regards to some of. I know that's probably more like in the past and about some of the previous band member stuff, but you mentioned you actually done a tour over East in both 2013 and 2014.
Yeah.
Fantastic, man. I'd love to hear some of those memories if you wanted to sort of just elaborate on how that came about.
Yeah. So shall we start in 2013? The amazing tour that was.
Yeah. What was the festival thing called?
Scorcher.
Yeah, Scorcher.
Scorcher.
Yeah.
That's it.
So we've done Scorcher so we put together a string of gigs, including this Scorcher festival thing in Perth in 2012, and we labelled it our Summer Assault of 2012. And we just did all these gigs, and it was so much fun. And after doing that, we got the opportunity to go and play in Sydney off the back of this same thing. So we did both Perth and Sydney, and we were like, okay, great, let's do it. And at the time I was, not in my current job, and we were all struggling a bit as we were, but we really wanted to go, and we had to figure out how to get our gear over there. So we took two mates, Alex, who was our original drummer from Legacy Mark 1, is a good friend of mine, and Kat, who lived in the house with me at the time. and we just glad wrapped guitar cases together, and like their carry-on was an amp and his carry-on was 2 guitars stuck together that met the weight requirement. All our clothes were like jammed in, and we all got over there. But we had to go in like a couple of different flights. Everyone just got the best flight they could. And I guess it starts with that our bass player, Dan Howell, he's a wonderful man, and he was over with our drummer Trevor at the time. They were in Sydney. They got there the morning, and we were leaving in the evening on the night flight. And we together in the car with Alex, Kat, all our gear, heading to the airport. My phone rings. I pick up the phone, and it's Dan, bass player. He's like, "Hey man, how you going?" He's clearly off his face, completely smashed. He's like, have you seen Trev? And I'm like, "Trev's with you on the other side of the country, mate." He's like, yeah. But have you seen him? And I'm like, "No, I haven't seen him since yesterday. He's in Sydney with you. I'm in Perth. Like, you need to know where he is." He's like, "I've lost him. He's gone."
Like a matter of hours,
Yeah.
and the drummer's lost.
What?
Yeah.
And they'd been out drinking, and he was gone. And that was the last we heard of it. So we got on the plane, and the two of us just sat there smashing Heinekens all the way over until we arrived at dawn. And, we're walking through the airport with all of this gear, get onto a train to get off at, where our accommodation is. And by now the sun's come up. It's about 7 in the morning. And we strolled into the shared room, and he's only just walked in a few minutes before us. And he'd been out all night lost. And he had on his phone Google Maps, and he was trying to get around. And he's like, "As long as I follow if this dot moves in a direction, I'll follow it, and then I'll get home." And it took him a really long time to realise that he was the dot that was moving. So he didn't know. He was just that. But we were kind
that's
of
brilliant.
there. And like Curtis has gone, "Nah, I'm pushing through. I'm having a big day." And I've gone, "I'm going to bed. I'm going to sleep in the day and then have a big night." And boy, you went had some fun with the rest of them. Yeah. And we were about 600 meters away from the venue that we were playing at, and I think we were playing at about 8:30 at night. And it was great because our singer from the old days was living in Sydney at the time, so we got him up to play an old song with us and front the band again. So we had this big thing playing, and we had all just gone so mental for so many days that we quite literally, we could have walked to the venue from where we were staying, but we called a taxi. It was just the most pathetic joke because we were like, "No, I'm not walking." Ruined, completely ruined. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. Yeah, we met some great people. We always meet good people when we go on tour.
Yeah, awesome, man. So did you do any other shows at the same time there?
Just the one.
Right.
We wanted to tie in a few others, but
we came back to the Scorcher in Perth as well, didn't we?
yeah, it was like 4 days later. So pretty much we went over there. We had a day or day and a half. We played. We had a huge night after we played, and then we got everything ready and left at dawn the next morning and got home. And in 4 days we played in Perth, the same racket that had come over here. So it was still a pretty whirlwind few, like a week and a half to 2 weeks, with a couple of gigs that were all banged up. But we only did the one show in Sydney, which was we wanted to get another, but it's hard to do.
Yeah, it sounds like hard work.
Yeah, in 2014, we had Melbourne. So we did the same thing, but we went to Melbourne. We wanted to do both Sydney and Melbourne and track them both together, but
Yep.
financially, what we could pen out and what the band was available to do, we could only pick one, and we'd done Sydney the previous year, so we thought we'd do Melbourne. I remember going over with you, and you were sick.
I was rook as.
Yeah. But we took interim bass player, Matty G, and he could party. He was a bit older than us, but boy, he could party. And we lost
Dangerous.
him. And he got very dangerous. And we got completely off the racket. And when we were ready to play the next morning, we had to go and register and get our wristbands and everything in the morning. And we'd all looked like death warmed up. But Matt's thing was that he would wear a suit. And he'd wear a waistcoat and shirt on stage. He'd dress up. And he was standing there at the bar at like 11 o'clock in the morning after we lost him, just drinking a Bloody Mary, completely fine.
Just like looking sharp as.
Yeah.
How the hell does this guy
How
do
did that happen? I got no idea.
That's bad. That's badass.
It's all about bass players in our band, I think.
It's your time.
It is your time.
Yeah. He just jumps off stage and crowd surfs instead. Man.
Yeah.
I haven't finished there yet.
I feel like he's just
Yeah.
warming up.
Yeah.
Let's see where that's
Fantastic,
at.
man.
The older I get, the wiser I get, the more experienced I become, the more I do.
Yeah.
That is true words, my man.
Yeah.
Older and wiser, man. So, but in regards to like, obviously, so you guys have been around for quite some time, and obviously, like right now, it sounds like you guys sort of like a pretty solid team. What sort of ambitions have you got? Like, where are you sort of planning to go from here?
As long as we're still having fun is the main one. It's such a spanner. Everyone's in the same situation. This year, obviously, a big spanner in the works, but
Yep.
we just can't wait to play shows again and get this EP or however we choose to sort of release it. We'll get that on the roll and do some gigs kind of off the back of that, and just sort of build up a bit more of a following and sort of get ready to do the next recording after that, and kind of try and stay a bit more relevant and not drop off the map.
Yeah.
In between
100%.
recordings, I suppose. But
Yeah, we're kind of up and then we're down, and then we're up and then we're down, and we seem to be up, and every time we're up, the music scene in Perth has significantly changed. And all the bands that we did the launch with for the last thing are either no longer around anymore or, falling apart or something. Well, great. We've got to go out and play with some of the bands then and let everybody know we exist.
yeah,
We've got a bit of momentum from the last Perth Rocks. Well, not the last, the first and only Perth Rocks so far.
yeah.
I mean, we played the Den part of the Civic. It was split over the two stages, and it was out the door, and people were digging it, and we got a really good response from it, and just wanted to try and build on or regain some of that momentum, and I think this new EP, especially like just with the amount of skill that we've acquired over the time doing it, like it just sounds huge compared to everything else we've done, and hopefully that sort of gives us a leg up, having something that sounds massive, and they're great songs. So there's a couple there that you'll be singing in the shower and not realise it,
Yeah.
Fantastic, man. Fantastic. But
I like to think that support some touring acts as well. I mean, we've been the opener for some bands that aren't even around anymore, and we've also done our fair share of headlines and bits and pieces, but it'd be great to be able to open for an international band that people really know well, and put our stamp out there and say that, we can hit it with the best of them, because I think we can. We definitely can.
Yeah.
And I think it's just about building those relationships. And I feel for us, every time I say, I'm in this band, and they're like, are you any good? I'm like, just come to a show, you tell me. Or what kind of band are you? Just a rock band. And then people go, I didn't realise, like you were in like a band, like a proper band. You're like, we take it pretty seriously. We're all pretty good, we're not just, thumbing around in the garage.
But there's also, but I also think there's such a stigma to saying, that, I'm in a band, I got long hair, I play rock music. It's like, oh, really? Well, what do you do for real? Like, what's your real thing? What's your real job? But yeah, look, in regards to sort of playing music in general, it's also at the same time, it's one of those things that it's so incredibly difficult to actually make your sort of full-time thing. But look, if that was an opportunity, was that something that you guys would jump on? Because again, you obviously have very, very different backgrounds and very different commitments and stuff. But would that be something that would potentially be an option?
I'd always say if there was a ticket waiting to go, I'd go.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
We'd make it work.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
So what's the magic ticket?
Well, who knows?
Right. The magic ticket would probably be, I mean, it's one of those things, you can put out a great song and people who you know love it, but if a great song got heard by somebody who could make sure that not a few hundred or a few thousand people heard it, that a few million people heard it because it was that good, and they came to us saying, a few million people need to hear this, not just a few hundred, and I want to assist you in that, I'd go, okay,
Bring it on.
bring it on. I feel that there are some bands out there locally that are really good at doing that themselves. And we try really hard to do that ourselves. And it does come down to a money issue. Like, where do you spend your money? Do you spend your money on world-class recordings? Do you spend your money on good gear so you sound good when you play live, so you look good when you play live, or to build your own studio so that you don't have to pay to put out your music? Where do you put your money? Or do you put it in the hands of somebody who promises you riches and millions and fame and 100,000 Instagram followers? You know, like, what do you do with that cash, and how do you spend it wisely? For us at the moment, it's just trying to keep it in the family. Like, you know, some of us have got families, we've still got to put food on our own plates. So we're not at a position where I guess we're going to try to take out a loan for $100,000 to make us the biggest success in the world. But if somebody was that passionate like we are and had the means to assist, we'd definitely be 100% invested as they would be.
Yeah.
But I guess that climate has changed. You know, people don't get record company backing anymore. It's all off the back of yourself, I guess. So,
At the same time, I don't think you need it. If you're like, again, if you are really good at doing your own stuff online, or at least if you have a vision, if you know sort of where you want to take it, I think that is the most important thing. Then everything else, as you said, can come as long as you're all on the same page and you sort of have a good idea of where you want to drive it. So depending on who you talk to and sort of what sort of genre you play, sometimes also whereabouts you are in the world, what network you have. Like, I don't think there is a right recipe for, again, as you mentioned, should I give it to these guys? Should I do it myself? Should I do X, Y, and Z? Because it's just, at the end of the day, you just got to be smart. I think that's probably the best thing, again, and be willing to take a couple of risks every now and then.
that's what we need to do. We're getting at that stage where we might have to take the odd risk, but yeah, I know I'm a pretty calculated guy. I don't like risk.
as a scientist, yeah, I could imagine.
The video risk.
Well, do you spend a lot of money on a video, or do you spend that money back in the studio? Do you spend, it's the usual. But you know, there's also, what's your band? I'll look you up on YouTube. Yeah, well, you'll get a band logo and you'll listen to the song. But I think you need to keep people stimulated. Music's good. You're not going to stare at that for 4 minutes and absorb it. People like to switch songs every 30 seconds. I'm not a switcher, but I don't like people who sit there and like to click and change.
But that's, again, it's a funny thing about the whole YouTube thing. I'm myself, I love the visual aspect. So I love when I sit down and check people out. I usually check if they have something on YouTube as well. And if people have music videos, I don't really care if they're super pro. Like again, you don't need to spend 20 grand on shooting an absolute badass video with a lot of CGI and stuff. Sometimes you can shoot a really, really cool, well edited performance video at a rehearsal room, and if that suits the song, go for it. Or you can even put up a freaking playthrough or a lyric video. Like it's just something that can give whoever is watching a little bit more than just a logo and a song. And the cool thing about those playthroughs, like you can shoot that in literally the same time it takes to do the song. You can shoot that in 5 minutes, and then you just gotta put a little intro and a little outro, so a little credit or a call to action at the end, and bang, there's some content that you can share around. Or lyric videos. Like, I love lyric videos because I actually like to know what the hell this song is about. Because unless it is something that is so clear, like where the vocal is so well produced and it's right out there, then I listen to the song as a blah, 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 blah. There's someone singing something, but I just listen to it as a whole.
Yeah.
But if you have a lyric video, you have that story, boom, right in your face. Oh, okay, well, this is what it's about. And there again, they're so cheap to do. Like you can find someone on Fiverr and pay them $20-$30 and bang, there you go. A couple of days later, you got content.
Yeah.
So that's again a really, really easy and smart way of adding something to your YouTube channel. But again, playthroughs, like, let's face it, all musicians are nerds. If you're a guitarist, you'd love to see how the fuck this guy's playing that riff. And again, as a drummer as well, like if it's a super complicated song or something, and you check that out and you go like, yeah, I'm just gonna give up. I'm not even gonna try.
You should definitely go play through.
Yeah, do all the spinning sticks and stuff. Or you could even do a little tutorial. This is how you start out by doing this. And
You can totally do that.
Yeah.
blame it on the bass player.
I think you're right. That's what it's about. Is just continuously getting some content out there.
Yeah.
Whether it's songs or video or anything. It's just keeping yourself out there and relevant. That's
Rig rundowns, because we're also nerds.
For sure, man. And again, if you work in a guitar store, you could probably even do something there where you just talk a bit of like guitar nerdy stuff. I mean, I probably wouldn't watch it, but if I was a guitarist, I'm sure that would be super keen.
I'd watch it.
We have threatened to do rig rundowns. We did record one, but we haven't done anything with it yet. But
It'll come.
it'll come.
Yeah.
It's and again, it's and like the really cool thing about that is it would be fun for you guys to do. So it's actually something that would be, and again, it would be so this, like you could probably look back on that in 5 years and say, oh shit, was I playing that shitty guitar back then? Look at what I've got now. So,
Hey, no shitty gear in here, man.
yeah. And again, it also, like if you guys have all the expertise to actually track stuff yourself, that again would be fun for fans to watch as well. Like, and that could be again like a couple of small clips you do while you're tracking the EP. You can maybe edit some of that together, and you got a little, say, a 5-minute vlog about how Let It Go came together or something like that. So
That's something that I could totally do.
Yeah, definitely.
How did that snare sound come about?
Oh God.
This is the room sound. This is what you get.
Why it's so very different from the movie Frozen.
Exactly. Why it's so very different from the movie, bro.
That's it. But that again, like content like that is something that is so easy. It's almost free to put together. It's only if you do need someone to edit it. You can find someone online. They can edit it overnight if you find someone in a different time zone or something like that. Yeah. But that's something that generally gives a new release a bit more momentum as well, because you can put out these teasers about how it was recorded, a couple of weeks before the actual song comes out. And stuff. Yeah. And so it's just something that again gives the viewer, the fan on the other side of the screen a little bit more to sort of resonate with. Just thinking out loud here. But that's something I actually, I love that myself, to go out and check bands and look, the whole, like a rundown in the rehearsal room, because again, it's real. Like it's not some crazy fancy big setup, where you can see this is a music video that has been shot and polished and stuff. But if you have those playthroughs where it's literally you come in, you make everything sound really good, and you just play it live, like that. Those videos are awesome.
Cool. Well, probably Facebook Live of us even rehearsing as well.
Yeah, those ones again are great as well, because again, that doesn't cost you anything. It's literally just put one, or maybe a couple of cameras if you want to make it a little bit fancier. But you can have that. You can run it through again. I've run my stuff through OBS, which again is it's an open source streaming platform. And again, you can spend a couple of days on YouTube tutorials and know how to set that up, and that runs extremely smooth. And then just have plug in a little, I've got a little 8-track bearing a USB mixer here to run one mic through. But again, you've been doing this for a while. So again, I'm sure you would have the actual tech rundown to get this up and running in no time. And how cool would that be? When you have a second wave of coronavirus at some stage, man, you guys will just be smashing it and playing live shows streaming live shows every weekend.
We'll record our improv acid jazz EP and
the reggae version of
all our songs.
Hates of Black and White.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
That's happened. Yeah, we have done a reggae version of a song just to make ourselves laugh and then go, oh, that's actually quite good.
Yeah.
Nice. Is that something you recorded, released?
No. We should.
We should.
You will now.
Yeah.
What about your other social platforms? How are they going? Is that something you're like? Because again, I've got your Instagram, I've got your Facebook. So is that something you maintain, or you add content to it? Do you have an idea of what you're putting up, or is it just something you play by ear?
We're kind of playing it by ear, I guess, but we have a bit of a hope to get some content that we can use, and when we want to make a post, we've got something that's easy to reach for, whether it be images or videos or just music or links. It is hard to maintain, but what you really need is a good day where you can sit and schedule 6 months worth of content, or let it happen, and it just ticks away, which is something that I think the online platform stuff is the thing that we haven't done that well. We spend a lot of time focusing on the music and our production, but not reaching people through Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. But that is really how you do it.
Especially in this climate where it's so difficult to actually go out and gig. I suppose it doesn't really matter if it's in this climate or not. If you do want to reach a broader audience, you have to be an online band. Like you have to have that shop front for people, for people to find you and give you that magic ticket.
Yeah,
they have to be able to have some sort of exposure, or again, you got to take some risks and trying to put some money behind some advertising here and there and try and target some people that may or may not find you, like overseas and all that. Yeah. I spoke to a guy a couple of months ago who said that he reckoned that about 90% of what you should focus on should be marketing in regards to running your band. And I don't disagree with that at all. I actually reckon you could probably have worse music or music that's not as good, maybe not as well polished, but if you've got an absolute killer brand, you really know how to target people and do all the right things marketing wise. I reckon that is how you sort of crack the code, or how you make it sustainable. Just listen to all the music on commercial radio. That's all so bad.
Yeah, but they've got great marketing teams.
Exactly. Exactly. So again, just
the philosophy of like we try and let our the music and our live show do the talking for us, but in a small town in the middle of essentially nowhere,
most isolated town in the world, or capital,
It is a bit of a tricky thing to do, but at the same time, we sort of operate on a we like to think we're like an honest band that what you see is what you get, and like I say, we like to try and let the music and the live show do the talking.
So we need some content.
And again, it's one of those things again, as we mentioned earlier as well. Like there is no right recipe. It is just something where you just 100%. You got to stay true to yourself. You got to do something that feels right. But I just think, especially if it is something that you ultimately dream of making, more than just weekend hobby or something like that, then the online aspect or the marketing and business side of it is something you cannot overlook. So it just comes down to how you map it in so it becomes comprehensible and manageable with everything else you guys are doing on the side as well, like running a Coles, being a guitar hero, and doing crazy. I can't believe what you're doing, Jacob. That is.
I can't believe it.
Yeah. And then obviously 6 kids. I'm not even going to comment on that because that is insane, man.
You pay the marketing person to make your Facebook ads and your Instagram ads for you. And
Maybe we should just pay my 14-year-old. I mean,
she can totally do it.
That's actually the first step. If you sort of are looking at making something that is manageable on a budget, like you reach out to your immediate network, like your closest friends and family, and like who knows some shit, who can help, and who's got some extra time and actually want to help. Because in many cases, actually having the extra time is more important than having the knowledge. Because if you've got the knowledge but haven't got the time, you're no good. You know what I mean? But if you've got the time, you can learn it very quickly. Because again, YouTube, as we mentioned before, is king.
Yeah.
It's so good, isn't it?
Hell of a resource, yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
Amazing.
Yeah, until you get stuck down the rabbit hole.
Yeah.
But that's a good thing.
Oh yeah, until it's 4 a.m. and you're looking up, the displacement of a 252/6 motor for absolutely no reason whatsoever.
Yeah, you got and the first set of kids start to wake up and come and jump in your bed and
yeah. 4 a.m. there's at least one in there already. So
same. I think the first one comes in. He had about probably 11:30, and the next one very, very, very quickly thereafter. So
yeah, what they need to do is make it like closer to 6 and learn how to make the coffee.
Yeah, but I suppose that comes with age. My oldest one is almost 7. I think give him a couple of years and we'll teach him.
Not quite kettle ready.
Yeah, exactly. At this point in time, we're more focused on sort of teaching them to listen to the right music. We're actually playing a lot of the stuff that you guys are sort of saying you're influenced by, like Bon Jovi, Kiss, Motley Crue, David Bowie, sort of like Queen, like running through all the classics again. It's just music. They just don't make music like that anymore, except for Legacy Alive, of course.
Well, thank you. That's the goal. Yeah. Nobody's going to be singing Cardi B in another 20 years, but they will be singing We Are the Champions.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, true. It's actually crazy when you think about how many of those songs that Queen has made that are just massive anthems, man. We Will Rock You, Bohemian Rhapsody, We're the Champions, man. There's just like they can play a whole stadium show of greatest hits that like everybody knows, young and old. It's just insane.
30
so
or 40
unique.
years later, and they're still relevant.
Yeah.
I think the other thing too is people forget how heavy a band Queen actually were.
Yeah.
Some of their stuff is just super heavy.
It's amazing.
Yeah. So plus, I mean, Brian May, what a guitarist.
And what a scientist.
Yeah.
That's true.
Tom Scholz, Boston, he wrote More Than a Feeling, and he designed his own amps and equipment and marketed it, had his own company, a handful of patents and a degree from MIT, and wrote More Than a Feeling.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah. He's an absolute genius. He's one of my main influences. So.
Yeah. Awesome, man.
He's borderline lunatic kind of.
Yeah, he's borderline lunatic. Yeah, that's for sure.
He's a little bit obsessive with some of them Rockman bits.
Yeah. The death of Delta is a little bit questionable. That's getting a bit dark, but anyway.
So if there was one of those older bands that are still around that you guys sort of would love to play with or tour with or support, who would be on top of the list? Iron Maiden.
Iron Maiden.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't care what anyone says. You have to see Iron Maiden.
Yeah.
These guys are in their late 60s now, and they will destroy any band out there as far as a live show goes. Yeah. Musicianship, they've got it, and Bruce Dickinson is the man.
Steve Harris.
Oh, they're all absolute legends. It's actually been a while since I sort of kept up to date on the personnel and the band. But are they still the same band members as they were back in the day?
Yeah, they've got the three guitar attack going.
Adrian Smith and
Adrian Smith, Yannick Gears,
Dave Murray.
and Dave Murray. Yeah. So they got 3 guitars going. But so I went with my brother-in-law on when they came out on the Book of Souls tour, and he hadn't seen them before, but he liked all the classic stuff, and we had really good seats, and he was like, I hope they don't sound terrible because they're old. And then I'd seen them a couple of times before, so I knew what was coming, and I was just quietly going, everyone ages, there might be a half step down in their tuning or whatever, but we'll see. And the show starts, and then Bruce Dickinson starts singing, and I just looked at him, and he's just like, he couldn't believe it. And then Yannick Gears is a madman. Like, I'm not actually sure how many notes he actually plays during the show, because the guitar's whipped around his head and behind the back and everything. He's a bit of a showman. And yeah, he could believe it. He's just sitting there and all going, "Oh my God, I should never have slept on Iron Maiden." So if the opportunity ever arose, for Dream opening, for me at least,
we'd settle for the Iron Maidens.
Yeah, we'd settle for the Iron Maidens, the all-female cover band, because they're pretty damn good too.
Yeah, they're actually quite unreal.
Yeah,
and they're coming to Perth. Well, they were supposed to be here in September, but they've been delayed for obvious reasons. But
of course, yeah.
The Iron Maidens are also quite cool if we were going to settle for or not.
It's probably more within our reach, to be honest.
Never say never, man.
I'm a good player.
Yeah, damn straight.
She's great. She plays a good guitar, that's for sure.
Awesome, man. Yeah, Iron Maiden. It's also funny actually about them. They were around. I think Metallica was mentioned them as one of their influences when they started.
Yeah.
Just shows you a bit about how long these guys have been around for.
Wow. Yeah.
And Bruce Dickinson, how crazy is that to him? He flies commercial airlines and all that as well.
Flies the band around in their own jet. It's,
I remember as a kid watching his TV show, Flying Heavy Metal.
Yeah, true.
He's Iron Maiden 757 and all this stuff, but he's got all this other shit. And it's like, what a life he's living.
I know, right?
Yeah.
And then you got good old Nico, man. You just cannot see him behind the drums. It's one of the craziest drum kits, man.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Completely covered.
But yeah, and single pedal player, got a lightning fast right. It's crazy. My right foot is not that fast.
It's pretty good though. When you do the bonzo.
I think he's probably like a true testament to size does matter. That is an insane. How many times does he have? It's 8 or 9 or something.
So he's got 6, 8, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 18. Yeah, that's really. See, I thought my full kit is 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18 when I've got everything with me. But, I leave the 12 and 18 at home because it's just too hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what?
Big enough for it.
Yeah.
So what are you guys doing when you're playing those 4 or 5 band bills? Do you just have to sort of downgrade to the standard little circus kit?
It's got to be larger than life.
Yeah.
We bring too many cabs and big amps. We're in a tiny rehearsal room. Ampeg 8x10 read here.
Yeah.
It's
and both of us double stacked boxes, big tube heads, completely acrylic, enormous kit with a rack. But we've got a good crew of people who come and help us out, and they go, "Oh, you've only got 15 minutes to change over." You're like, "Watch us change over."
Yeah.
The production goes up, and we're on.
Houdini.
Yeah. Pretty much.
That's sort of
That's
stuff.
what we-
And with it, like that big stadium rock thing, it's larger than life, and
Yeah.
it's got to be a bit over the top.
Yeah.
Plus, it looks cool when you need 4 people to lift a drum kit onto the stage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Looks up from their beers to
And they
go.
go, oh crap.
It adds to the production value. Again, it's a visual. It's a visual. You have that massive kit.
It's hard time too. It's completely but I feel like I'm hiding.
It's one of those funny things. Again, I've heard quite a few people sort of mentioning that as well. You know, it's that they have sort of almost adjusted their playing to play these smaller shared backline. Whereas I'm like, again as a drummer as well, I have sort of fairly large kit. I don't have that many toms, but I've always sort of played like 2 up, 2 down, sometimes 3 up and 2 down. Yeah. And for me to have to adjust my playing to just have 1 up and 1 down, it's like there'd be so many fills and so many things that I would have to significantly compromise. And why would you want to do that when you're playing live, where you're sort of actually trying to sound the best you possibly can? It just blows my mind how like some of the mindsets that actually go behind playing these shows. And again, I get it. Yeah, if you are on a bill with 3 or 4 other bands, yeah, if you have a short changeover, but then and again, do the same as you guys. Bring friends that are happy to make it happen, because it's important.
Well, we did late last year. We did 2 shows back to back, and so I was lucky. The drums were backlined both nights, so I went from a 2 up, 2 down with my rack with my cymbal set up on the first night to a 1 up, 1 down with my rack on the second night, and that just looked ridiculous. It was this old 70s Rogers kit, and then I just had like all of my cymbals because, hey, why not? It just looked ridiculous. So I think if you practice your craft enough, you can kind of adjust fairly quickly to the different, backline situations, I guess. Plus, linear fills are your friend. When in doubt, linear fills. They sound cool as hell, and they're really easy to pull off. So,
I think for me as well, like at the moment, I only play in a cover band. So again, it doesn't matter what you play, because you're selling your soul for music to begin with. You know what I mean? So, like playing Wonderwall and Kazan, it doesn't really matter if you got 10 toms or 1. Like it's like. Yeah. No one cares, you know what I mean? But playing originals or playing songs where it's important, because it's a part of your art. Again, like I suppose as a guitarist, it would almost be the same. You say, you have to play these other pedals, or like this is the other amp. I said, well, that's not my tone. That's not how I sound. It's kind of the same.
Specific about that.
We're very specific about our guitar tones.
Of course, because that's you. That's how you sound. And Matt, so you have to take like the A and the G string out. Well, then I can't play these chords. Yeah, well.
Then you just
yeah.
Sorry, guys. I do love you.
You're not wrong.
Bass player jokes.
Yeah.
It's pretty common.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, just jump off stage anyway.
Yeah. Screw you guys, I'm getting out of here. Sailing away.
That's why I wear a wireless unit when I'm on stage.
Yeah.
You can leave anytime.
Because I'm a good person, I still play, but I'll leave.
You'll leave.
Yeah.
So so obviously, so you got the wireless happening.
Yeah. Even the drummer's wireless.
Nice. You should have a big podium. Just sort of scoot around. Have a roller coaster like Tommy Lee.
He's got the Britney Spears mic.
He's got the wireless mic, the headset mic, because it's you can't do this when there's a mic stand in your face. It's it just doesn't work.
Oh, so you're doing backing vocals as well?
Yeah.
Nice.
All of it.
Yeah, all of it. Yeah,
fantastic.
A microphone at some point.
Wicked. So you're doing the whole you're doing the massive Bohemian Rhapsody choruses, and they're coming on the new EP.
A couple of them are pretty big, actually. Yeah.
Well, the new single's got a huge one of those in it, and it's been going pretty well so far.
I saw 3 of them actually. Yeah.
Yeah, I played a buddy of mine a sneak, like a little snippet of the chorus of the new single. 2 days later, he texted me and goes, "I'm still singing that damn chorus." So
That's awesome, man.
I've done something right there.
Tick there.
Got
Well
it.
done, man.
Yeah.
It feels weird to me walking around the house with all the new tunes that we've got going, even though it's our own tunes. It's a weird concept to me still, and it will be in the future, even as an up-and-coming musician in the music scene. But yeah, it's to the point where you're singing your own stuff at the moment.
It's good.
Exactly.
So damn much to make sure it sounds good.
Yeah.
Yeah, but look, you're totally allowed, man. And again, if you like it and if you believe it like that, it's so important, man. Like if it's something that again, like, even though I know what he's saying. So again, look, if it is something you go, oh, you know, it's my song, it's sort of stuck in my head. But look, if it's stuck in your head, there's a good chance it will be stuck. You know, like you said, your friend, you know, texted you 2 days later and said the same thing. And again, it just proves that, you know, it is one of those catchy songs.
Yeah. You'll have to let us know when we drop it.
Yeah. But so when is it coming out roughly? Have you got a rough idea? Obviously, you're shooting a video.
It's ready to go pretty much now. We're just going to wait for the video to be done. So we're going to do our video next week, and however long that takes to cut together. So I imagine late September. So if he brings it together really quickly, it could be mid-September, but probably late September, just so we can do a bit of a rev up. I'm hoping to put together a little teaser in the next, say, week, where there'll just be a little piece of it. And,
Yes,
you know,
that's
taste
the
it.
way. The content.
Yeah.
I'm sure there'll be Instagram behind the scene photos and all that sort of stuff. So.
Yeah. Set up.
Yeah, man, bring it out. Get some playthroughs, lyric videos, just make it all happen.
That's right. We'll get on top of it.
Or even better, misheard lyric videos. Those
They're the best.
those things are hilarious. Yeah. Just the death call of misheard lyrics is just brightens your day.
Yeah.
But that's because no one can hear what they're singing to begin with.
But like you read it and it kind of you go, oh, is it? You know, you kind of think, is it? It's
We already do that anyway. We've already got our own version.
Yeah, inappropriate.
Oh god.
Yeah.
Oh, dear.
There's another thing that's sort of pretty popular as well is all the reaction videos, you know. So you can pull in one of your mates or something, or a guy on the street or something. You play him the song and you record his reaction to it.
Andy.
Hey,
Yeah, for sure.
You're right.
it's coming.
And then to that. And then to that.
That's literally how it went. He put the headphones on and he's like, and then he got to the chorus. He just goes, and he's looking at me. He's looking at me. He's like, and I'm like, and then he gets to like the big bit. He goes, yes.
Get him to do a couple of reactions video.
Should have recorded that.
Yeah. Fantastic, man.
Yeah, next time he comes to work, I'll do it.
No.
So before we start wrapping it up here, can you guys announce a couple of because I think you had a couple of gigs coming up. I know the Perth Rocks obviously is currently postponed and stuff, but where else can sort of people check you out in the near future?
This Saturday.
This Saturday, Lucy's Love Shack. Doors are at 8.
We're at 8:30.
We're at 8:30, yeah.
So we're doing a hair metal tribute night. So the cover band that's on after us is just doing 2 sets of all the good stuff, and we're opening it up with a full set of our originals. We're showcasing that new single that we're doing the video for.
Sweet.
And the other one. Yep. Yeah.
Are we doing the other one?
Yep.
No.
Wait. Which one are we doing? Oh, the other one, that's the old one.
No.
That's now the new one.
Yeah.
No.
Complicated.
List on the top. Yeah.
Complicated.
Yeah.
The
We can-
reprint from midnight till dawn.
Oh, yeah, that one.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought we were going to do the other one as single number 3.
No, that's what we're playing.
Oh, yeah.
You wrote it down.
I did too. Wow. How did I do it?
I don't know what single we're going to do next. I'm going to leave it up to you guys.
Yeah.
Alright, cool.
And then and then there's going to be like some single launch or EP launch at some stage.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
we'll put
So that's
something.
still pending.
And we've got some dates end of October-ish that we're looking at. at the moment with a few other bands, and we've got a tentative that I just got this afternoon, early December, for another release, which we might try to tee a few things up with. So definitely on the cards this weekend, Saturday, end of October, whenever Perth Rocks happens, and early December.
Yeah, cool. And if people are sort of trying to, or if people want to stay up to date with geek dates and news updates and playthrough videos and all that, where should they where should they head off? So Facebook predominantly.
Yeah. When or what I will have to do is just make sure that we sync up the Facebook and the Instagram. So if that's your preferred platform, you're getting the same content across both, or similar. And we've kind of our YouTube channels are managed by, they're like created by CD Baby, but we will probably be looking at setting up our own YouTube channels to do all of our rig rundowns that we do have.
I'd love to do a playthrough as well.
Oh yeah. So it's good having Owen in the band, because he's very vibrant and motivated with that kind of digital platform too, and he can help us a lot.
He speaks the language of the youth.
Quite literally,
he uses the language.
That's good. It's important, man. Like again, it's something. It's something you have to sort of hone that skill. But yeah, all that content stuff you're talking about, like rig rundowns, playthroughs, lyric videos, behind the scenes, like everything is cool. Everything is content, and the cool thing about it as well, as you mentioned as well, like having those small teasers, you can even have still shots that you then put on Instagram that will then cross link to YouTube and Facebook. So you sort of tie everything in the whole Legacy Alive ecosystem. But the key, and I'm sure I'm not the first one to tell you this, is just consistency.
Yeah.
It's just make sure you keep having something happening.
Yeah.
And that's the hardest part.
No doubt. It's the stuff that we're definitely aware that if we want to lift it to the next level, we'll have to lift that game first. I mean, we've got our playing down pat. We're sounding good, and we're confident in that. We're confident enough to run around and have crazy antics on stage, then that should take the back seat. We'll be able to just show everybody it's worth coming to a gig to see it.
And again, another probably pretty important advice, or at least thing to consider as well, is to do like a professional shot video live gig, which is something again you can do fairly cheap. You can run the audio again through through the front of house mix as well, and you can have that mixed later. But that again, especially if you are good live, people can see the bass player jump off stage and all the fancy drumsticks and all that stuff. Like if you have that, it's a really, really cool visual thing. That's really important if you are sort of trying to promote yourself overseas, because they won't be able to come and check you out live. And live videos again is real. Like that is you playing. There's no polish, there's no filter. And again, they're fairly inexpensive to shoot, because it's literally just the time you're playing and then post production.
Yeah, the end of that didn't really come off, but
we'll live and learn.
Yeah.
But that's again another thing where you can then say, look, if we're going to set up our own gig, then so you guys are the headliners, you guys are the one that are running the show. Then again, you can spend a lot more time preparing to actually set it up for that video shoot. Whereas, like for instance, on Saturday, if you're the support act and you're going to come and you got the standard half an hour time slot to begin with, and you're playing shared backline, everything's hectic. Yeah, that's probably not the best one to sort of showcase yourself.
Yeah.
But yeah, for the EP launch or something, when you have like a bigger gig where you're the star, that's when you need to try and harness that energy and then the production. So get all the eBay lighting gear out. Yeah, fantastic, man.
Laser permit.
Laser permit, yeah. Oh god.
Smoke machines and everything, man.
Yeah.
The strobos.
Yeah.
Cool, man. And so another thing I usually try and ask people as well is if you have any sort of tips and tricks or any piece of advice, anything that's worked for you in the past, that that you could pass on to any other bands or artists or anyone listening?
Probably super cliche, but just practice, like just every aspect of it, playing, whether it's the recording of it, the producing of it, that sort of thing. Just time spent doing that stuff. It kind of helps if it's fun, of course, if you enjoy it, but
of course,
that's to no end. So just honing your craft.
But massively for me as well, I think it's camaraderie as well.
Yeah.
You know, this is the first band where I've been in where it's just we are all having fun outside of music together as well. You know, when I'm beers with Jacob or online with these two guys playing, you know, simulating racing games and stuff like that, or going out together. But then obviously going out after gigs and stuff like that too. You know, having a massive camaraderie in the band is a big thing to keeping bands motivated as well.
Yeah, and also like support the other bands.
Yeah.
Like, the scene in Perth is not what it used to be. Original hard rock bands are fighting a losing fight. You know, because every other show's got like 19 death metal bands on it, or you know, there's some sort of shoegazing happening down the street, and apparently, you know, it's almost a forgotten genre now. So
people think you're strange if you're just in a rock band.
Yeah.
What kind of rock band?
Yeah.
Is it like a metal band? It's a post rock? It's punk? It's hardcore?
Yeah.
Rock band.
Yeah.
Like,
just support your peers. You know, everyone's trying to achieve the same goal, so let's achieve it as a collective.
Do it with kindness. You know, you might be the band starting out, done 3 gigs, and you feel good after 3 gigs, and you feel like you should be headlining Soundwave and taking over the world, but like, just remember that you're still you're one of many, and we're all good. And you know, don't let that don't think that you're too big to play with anyone.
Yeah,
because it doesn't matter how big you are, you're not. You could be the biggest band in the state, and somebody from nowhere will come up and steal the flag from you and open for you and make you look ordinary. So like, just be humble in every sense. Yeah.
We definitely have seen what can go wrong. I mentioned the 2 nights back to back we did. The first night, the headlining band disintegrated on stage.
Yeah, and they were great guys, lovely guys, but just had a bad night. Yeah.
Oh, really? What happened?
Oh, just some differences that happened in a very public way, and you know, when you're on stage, you're amplified 10,000 times, and you scratch your nose, everybody sees you do it. But if you have a breakdown and want to punch the singer, everybody's watching. So
right, okay.
You realise that
that's not good.
You're a performer as well. You know, if Sunday breakfast TV show somebody leaned over the couch and slapped somebody in the face, you'd be concerned. It's the same thing.
Yeah. I think the younger up and coming bands need to realise that if you're put on as the headliner, you have a responsibility to do your best, not to be an asshole all night.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure, man. All very, very wise words. The practice bit. We've heard that quite a bit, but I suppose again as a musician, you know, it's your pride, it's your skill, it's your appearance. The whole thing about staying humble. Yeah, I think that's just a common part of life. Like, treat others how you want to be treated, and you'll be all right. So that's always good. Yeah, and absolutely, like, be nice to the ones that you meet on your way up, because you never know, they might be the ones that you're gonna be nice to on your way down.
Yeah, 100%.
You know. So
but for younger people as well, for people my age, you know, heading into their early 20s, or you know, leaving school.
That makes me feel old.
Yeah. For me, massively, what it was actually going out there and actually having a look at what's in the Perth music scene. Because personally, leaving high school, you know, being with your high school band or this band or that band, you think you're good. But then you see what Perth actually has to offer, and these guys are popular, but they you wouldn't classify these people as made it or anything like that. But they're brilliant at what they do. It's a massive, I guess, mind opener for myself, and joining this band as well. Has helped propel that vision that I've got of trying to be up there with those sort of people. And for young people, it's definitely exploring, having a look.
Yeah. Support the bands that you feel are criminally underrated.
Yeah.
If you ever get the chance to see Ultrasound around Perth,
Sister Switchblade.
Sister Switchblade.
Yeah.
Go see those two bands. You will not regret it.
Yeah, 100%.
So what is it? Ultrasound?
Ultrasound and Sister Switchblade.
Sister Switchblade.
Yeah, you won't regret it. Good dudes and great music.
Any other shout-outs? Any other bands you'd recommend checking out?
Yeah, Jackson Coke.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
There's a great band from over east called Serpentine Sky, which we had the pleasure of playing with when we were over in 2014. They're still around. That is a band that will just, if you love classic rock, will blow your brain clear. It's a wonderful band.
This is Spud Gun's a good one as well.
Spud Gun, love Spud Gun.
Yes.
Yeah.
Everyone loves Spud Gun.
That's one of the funniest chats I've had, man. When I had them on, man.
Yeah. Band of Misfits too. I love Kim. She's great.
She's awesome.
Yep, absolutely. She's a star.
Yeah. Sweet.
Yeah.
That's it. Well, that's again, a lot of good bands. And again, I've actually had the pleasure of actually watching some of them because I haven't been to that many gigs. Because like I said, I started doing this about 4.5 months ago, and I must say, like some of the bands I've had on, man. The quality in this town is phenomenal, man.
Yeah.
It's
that's the truth.
Yeah, exactly. Like how do you get it out there? Like how do you get more people to appreciate some of it? Like for like a band like Amberdown, Electric State again, like really stood out to me as well as some of the top bands that I've both seen and heard, because they have some extremely strong songs as well, recorded and available as well. Commander Panda again is another one. Really good boys as well.
Yeah.
So there's just so much music out there. It's just keep grinding, I suppose.
Yeah. That's it.
Keep making that content, getting it out there. Fantastic, man. Guys, let's wrap it up. We've been chatting now for over an hour and a half already. Suppose it's another day tomorrow. You got to sell guitars and create some vaccines and all that stuff tomorrow. But look, guys, thanks so much for taking the time out. Really appreciate it, and it was really good to sort of get some fun stories from the past couple of years, and again to sort of hear what's in the works. I'm really looking forward to the video.
Yeah,
thank you.
Yeah,
that'll be exciting, man.
News for everyone.
Yeah.
For us. Man.
Thank you for your time. Thank you very much.
And we're gonna finish off on Lucid, which I think is from the album you released.
Yeah, Morning After.
Yeah.
They say if you know Lucid, you know Legacy. So
Fantastic. Do you want to finish? Do you want to finish on those words, or have you got a little shout out about this song?
This song's about dreaming. So if you go to sleep and then you dream of the best life that you could possibly want, that's what this song's about. So we try to live that life, and that's, I guess, if you listen to this song that resonates with you, go out, see a band, pick up a guitar, drumsticks.
Yeah.
Kiss the bass player.
Even better, we'll hear this song live, Lucy's Love Shack, this weekend.
100%.
That's it. Or even better, check out Facebook, Legacy Alive, go to Instagram, or check you guys out on Spotify and Apple Music, because I know the album's out there, because that's where I found it. Fantastic. Thanks so much, guys. Really appreciate it. And all the best. And I'm sure I'll catch you guys at a show in the future, hopefully the EP launch.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Dude,
Take it easy, guys.
Later.
Hey.